So how there's been a lot of improvement in the fields of mobile gaming, just gaming in overall, and number of smartphone users, and just generally technology, right? Since 2016, when internet was brought at a much cheaper price. So, like, while this has already been a very upward trend, last year 2020 had just accelerated whatever was supposed to happen slowly, gradually over a 5 or 6 year time, right? 5 or 6 more years, right? Especially remote working and online video calls and conferences, and even graduations happening through video calls, right? So all of this, along with whatever we've been seeing in regards to cryptocurrency and digital transactions and blockchain and all that, makes me want to look at the bigger picture and see that we are heading towards a future where everything becomes digital, right? This, along with new changes and cost reduction in VR industry, right? So all of this together makes me really believe in the technology of virtual reality and just remote social experiences, right? Where you don't even have to move from your place. You just sit in your house, wear a headset or a glass, and you're already in a party, let's say, or already in your office where you're sitting across your boss and just discussing stuff already. So things like that, right? And with the technology such as face tracking and eye tracking and just gesture trackings, right? So all of that together, it's really so fascinating to see how we're going to be 2-3 years later, right? I think to a significant extent, we're going to still have in-person working, office working, because I think interacting and just having someone in your space improves your productivity by a lot. But remote working is going to be a huge part of it. You're going to be able to source work from so many different locations on the planet and get results quicker. And along with that, I was saying, just the power of virtual reality and augmented reality. You're going to have to try to understand, you're going to have to try it on to actually understand how immersive and just amazing it is, right? On the other hand, I really think the way that things are going, right? We had laptops and PCs for a couple of decades, and then slowly we transitioned into smartphones and tablets, smart tablets, and right now at this point there's just a huge saturation, right? I'm not sure about you, but to me, in my eyes, it's all just the same, right? All smartphones more or less are the same. It can basically do everything you want to do, and maybe not as fast as you want to do in some cases, but they do it nonetheless. Play FPS or whatever games you want to play, you can play in almost all phones. You can take really good photos in most phones, and so on and so forth, right? Like at this point, it doesn't matter. So we've reached a saturation point where you're gonna have to make innovations inside the field. You're gonna have to bring something else. Similar was the case back in 2010s, right? In the beginning of then, really wasn't a saturation point, but we were already at the threshold of another change. But now, with rapid improvement in the field, so much competition in the field, we've reached that saturation point, and this is when I think we're gonna make the leap to glasses, virtual reality, AR, and all that, right? And this is not just speculation, right? Facebook's already making one; it's about to get released, and Microsoft's already have they've got their own HoloLenses, and just many of these companies, right? They're already in the process of making it. And I'm not sure if you've seen Facebook's recent press release, they have told the public that they want to be known as a metaverse company. For those who do not know what metaverse is, it's basically just being digitally in the fourth wall sense, right? Like everything is digital, and you're just your 3D self in the digital space, metaverse. So you're going to be interacting with people from everywhere, and it's all going to be digital. You're just going to have to flip a switch when you wear a glass and you're already in Toronto or Uzbekistan or wherever, right? Or maybe in a totally different, virtually tailored place just for you to maybe be alone, spend some time alone, mental health apps and all that, right? So there's going to be that. Um, so I think a major part of this, and at this point, I'm not even including ML and AI, right? The way that those are going to be taking over the world. People are already people have always been scared of AI transforming into Skynet, and we're going to be in Terminator scenario, right? But take a second, take a breath, deep deep breath, and look around. Look at your phone. We all of us are already in the hands of AI. The way we think, we literally mimic the words of people we follow. It's crazy if you think about it. AI is already like dragging us into these echo chambers, and we already are in decentralized social groups, right? One doesn't even know that the other exists, and it's already hating on everything else. There's just hatred all around, and since it's good for a couple of companies' businesses, um, we are already barreling down that road right now. So all of this, maybe with a little bit of optimism, could be the way for a brighter, more digital future where it's not as hateful to interact with people who don't share your interests, where you can just, where there aren't really any harmful consequences if you do interact with people who don't share your opinion from different parts of the world, let's say, and so on and so forth, right? So a major part of this is going to be people would have lost jobs. People would be having jobs that have evolved to that time. Similar to how YouTuber wasn't a thing back in 2006 or 8, and maybe even until 2015 in India, right? So similarly, I mean, I would have laughed at the possibility of a whole job being making videos for people to watch. But right now they are the celebrities, right? So similarly, they're going to be jobs that we can't even think of. So except for that, the major technology jobs are mostly going to be replaced. All the IT jobs, data entry is going to be automated and all that. So most of TCS is going to disappear maybe. That's how we see it. But on the other hand, jobs that are going to be there are those who actually design these different algorithms or experiences or hardware and stuff, right? Design these hardware. Manufacturing is going to be gone. So I think in that ecosystem in the future, I think experience development or design is going to be a huge part of the future, because you're basically designing the way that people are going to be interacting with all these other domains that I have been talking about, right? And this particular role profile is what's currently known as game development or game programming. So right now, even as we speak, people are undervaluing how important it is to design graphic design even per se. So graphic design, animation, and virtual reality and game development and game design and whatnot, right? All of this is going to be replacing all of that. So that is the main reason why I think game development and game programming is a very crucial part of the future. And if you wanna, you can branch out. You can go breadth first after you've gone depth first in game development. It could be an umbrella of your skills of what you have. Like you can be a game developer, but also a designer and a storyteller, and have a community of, let's say, 5,000, 10,000 people who are very dedicated to what you do. So you can monetize on them later on, right? Or you could be a graphic designer who also is very passionate about mathematics and statistics and all, who can specialize in the field of data science and just analyzing all of this and prediction and probability and all that, right? So you could maybe like promote brands and all in your spare time while your major occupation lies around. I mean, major money making source comes through working in the working, bettering all AI and ML and all that, right? I'm just being vague here, vague examples. So on the other hand, you can also be really interested in geology, but also be a filmmaker, film enthusiast who's also like crafting experiences for virtual reality audiences, right? So there's a lot of, as far as I know, there's a lot of content to be made in that field who hasn't like people haven't made so far. So things like that, right? And that's really why I really believe in the technology of virtual reality and crafting experiences through developing games and coding in general, right? So all this intersection of creativity and technology is where I think the future lies, and that's why I think it's really important.